I love many things in life. I love my family. I love my husband. I love my kids. I love my dog. I love my house and my car. But the greatest love of my life is my love for food. I love the look of it, the smell of it, the taste of it, the textures as it rolls across the tongue, the way different flavor combinations cause serotonin to be released from the gut and endorphins to explode in the brain. I love to prepare it. I love to watch others enjoying it. I love to make funny faces with it. And I love to find ways to eat more better with every single bite. Am I a foodie? I guess you could say that. How is it possible to be a self-proclaimed foodie but still maintain a slender body? Is it because I'm Asian and Asian people don't ever gain weight? Have I figured out how to hack the human body that allows me to eat whatever I want? You might also be wondering, what does all this talk about food and body have to do with colonization and decolonization anyway? Get cozy as I tell you the story about how I decolonized myself through debunking popular myths of colonized lies. There's something important to know about me before we launch into this. I was never, ever the petite Asian girl. I wasn't blessed with the really skinny Asian genes like my sisters. I was a big bone porgy that didn't know any limits when it came to food. Was I happy about my giant hips and round butt? Heck no! I accepted a long time ago that I was never gonna look like the pretty popular girls at school. Even though I was a super active kid, as I grew up, I got teased for sweating like a dude. So to save myself the embarrassment, I stopped physical activity altogether. I became the socially awkward Asian girl that liked to sit around, play video games, and eat junk food. And as my grandma used to say, I just wasn't built to look like that. Although I was dying to be Hollywood skinny, the messages I was told by my family and peers was that it's impossible for me to lose weight, so I should just enjoy life and embrace my big body. I got used to the fat shaming and name calling and pretended that it didn't bother me. I lived up to the big girl persona and I enjoyed the heck out of all the food without limitations or restrictions. And it was easy to own being a big girl, especially with the whole health at every size movement and with big celebrities owning their big bodies. Growing up, I experienced dichotomized eating. My mom and my grandma were great at making a variety of hearty home-cooked meals, but they also believed in big portions, and they trained us to be members of the Clean Plate Club, even if it meant eating until the point where I was stuffed and had to open the button on my pants. They also highly encouraged seconds. And if you wanted to get dessert, you had to finish everything on your plate. My grandma, who I lived with for a number of years, would also buy us a bunch of cookies, chips, Simon, and other goodies to snack on after school. She never limited how much we ate and didn't ever deny us food, so we basically had the privilege to eat whatever we wanted. And with the opening of big box superstores like Costco and Walmart, cheap, processed, prepackaged stuff became the go-to meals as we grew older, even if it meant I would have to slam down about 3 or 4 Hot Pockets just to get me satisfied. Before leaving for college, the only thing I really knew how to cook was a semi-decent pot of chili and some rice. And since I was a really broke full-time college student living off a part-time minimum wage waitressing job, Dr. Pepper, Spam Musubis, Hot Pockets, and Go-Go Taquitos were what got me through the day. It also didn't help that the man who would be my future husband also happened to be an amazing cook. Did I know what all this food was doing to me? Of course, but I didn't care. I was used to being a big girl. Sure, I went on tons of crash diets and 2-day-per-week exercise programs, but it never worked. I accepted that I was never going to be skinny, but at least I was happy, right? In 2008, the same weekend I graduated from college, I had to move back home to take care of my grandma, who was bedridden. During that same time, my boyfriend also broke his leg. And since I was their only caretaker, and I'm obviously not a trained nurse, I ended up herniating a disc in my lower back, and to my great luck, the doctor said that at the ripe old age of 20, I was already showing signs of degenerative disc disease, and I would probably need surgery before I ended up crippled. After falling into a deep depression that was masked easily by an overdependence on opiates, I decided to have the surgery. On the bright side, going through back surgery got me to quit smoking, and I ended up starting a pretty cool blog series called Not All Here. But in the long run, I felt like I needed to live my life in a well-cushioned bubble. You see, After the surgery, my doctors insisted that I had to lose weight, but said that I'm not allowed to lift more than 40 pounds or do any high impact workouts. They also said that I needed to just eat less and do more walking. They also said that I wasn't allowed to have kids because it would only re-herniate the disc. Did I listen? Obviously not. I drowned myself with more food and even less activity than before because I was so scared of getting hurt again. Fast forward to 2011. By now, I was pretty husky, as my grandma liked to call it. As I was preparing for my wedding, we found out my mother-in-law had pancreatic cancer. And of course, one of her dying wishes was for me to have a baby. After struggling to get pregnant for a whole year, we finally did. After having my daughter, I was at my absolute heaviest and my absolute unhappiest. Sure, it would have been easy to blame all of my weight gain on the fact that I had a baby, but I ate for 3. And also, the non-processed and non-sugar-coated truth was that I was just a fat, lazy glutton that was fed all the wrong information about diet and lifestyle. In 2014, I hit rock bottom mentally, physically, and emotionally. I literally had nothing left to lose. Deep inside, I knew there was this person that was better than the person I made myself to be. At this point, it was all or nothing. The catalyst to changing my life had to do with a promise I made to my dying mother-in-law to get healthy, wanting to set an example for my daughter, and the realization that I didn't have to be skinny to be healthy. When I let go of the Western mindset that being skinny is the only demonstration of good health, something magical happened. I started to fall in love with myself. I told myself that I was going to go all in and accept whatever results came as long as I put in the solid effort for at least once in my life. It wasn't about being a skinny bitch anymore. My health was on the line. And this journey, it just wasn't about me anymore. It was about her. I couldn't for 1 second fathom my daughter moving through life and feeling like I did all these years, with self-hatred and always being told, "You're not good enough." I want her to grow up to be a strong woman with the world of opportunities at her feet. And the only way to accomplish that was to set the example. The second I chose to nourish my body with nutritious, whole, unprocessed food, getting in control of my health was easy. I didn't have to go on any crazy 500-calorie diet for months on end, and I didn't have to spend thousands of dollars on diet programs and pills. I just had to give up the junk food and eat like my ancestors ate. I realized they weren't running to the gas station for coffee, cigarettes, and a bag of chips. Through changing my mindset, eating habits, and by risking it all, I lost almost 100 pounds. But before you break out the champagne to celebrate, let me be clear that I'm still not healthy. Last year, I was diagnosed with hypothalamic amenorrhea. This journey has turned me into a workhorse, and now I live a lifestyle where I don't know how to chill out because it's been drilled into my head that rest is for fat, lazy people, which I know isn't true, but the fear of losing control again is something that I know I'll always have to battle with. Up until I started this journey towards living a healthy lifestyle, my mind was ruled by 2 drastically conflicting obsessions: processed food and sugars, and my desperate need to be Hollywood skinny. I let Western paradigms about body image and the carelessness of the standard American diet dictate who I was. I lived my life on both ends of the spectrum. I've been clinically obese and experienced the shame and guilt that came with being called big bone and constantly being asked if I was pregnant. I've been clinically underweight and I was accused of being anorexic, bulimic, and my personal favorite, on drugs. But I decided to start letting go of what I think I need to be and just be me.